Yeah, I do have a story. It has nothing to do with me, but those of you who are in the Air Force or enjoy history, you have probably heard of the name Dieter Dengler. Dieter Dengler is the only American pilot, actually the only American POW, who successfully escaped from the North Vietnamese. And he went on to fly for TWA and lived in Sausalito, and he had a brother named Martin Dengler who was a baker in San Francisco. So what's the story? Well, Martin Dengler knew another baker in San Francisco. And this guy told him the story, and it's actually written down. I've got it at home. This fellow was a sergeant in the Battle of the Bulge. He had two other people, three-man patrol. It's foggy, it's cold, it's freezing, and they get out on a patrol and they are lost. There are no terrain obstacles to be seen, so they keep walking and walking. They finally find a small house which is inhabited, and they knock on the door, and a woman comes to the door, and she's got 2 or 3 small children, and they're freezing to death, and she says, "Come in, but leave your arms stacked outside the door. Don't bring them inside." So they did, and she fed them, and they spent the night. It happened to be Christmas Eve, 1944. And later on that night, another knock at the door. This is a real story. And one of the children, I think, went to the door and was old enough to recognize that there might be a problem because these soldiers, there were 3 of them, were German. So the mother comes to the door and thinks quickly and thinks, "You leave your arms there too, come inside." She fed them. They all spent the night, 3 Americans, 3 Germans, and a family of 3 in this little hut overnight. And the next morning, it's still foggy, but there's no wind and it's warmer, and they all have to get back to their units or they're going to be AWOL or dead. So somehow one of the American sergeant, I guess, made it known to the German sergeant or whoever was the patrol leader that they had no idea which direction to go because it was foggy. They had no compass. So the German reached in his pocket and gave the American sergeant a compass and said, "Go that way." And Martin Dengler heard that story from the sergeant, who became a baker also in San Francisco. Christmas Eve, 44.
Yeah.